Howard Stern says we have no time for idiots in this country anymore. Howard Stern defends Joe Rogan's criticism, defends those criticizing Joe Rogan. So Howard Stern remains unimpressed with Joe Rogan, specifically with his preferred treatment for COVID-19. Well, maybe incensed would be a better word to use, as Stern very openly and heatedly criticized the podcaster during his Sirius XM radio show, criticism of which he continues to stand by, that his audio was on Rogan began to speak on ivermectin, which were on CNN. Okay, keep going, Lord. They keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor. It's an American company, said Rogan. They won the Nobel Prize in 2015 for using human beings, and CNN is saying I'm taking horse dewormer. They must be. It's a lie. And then this leads to, in fact, Stern deemed those who won't get vaccinated as shitheads. Needless to say, Yahoo Entertainment wants to comment. Look, Stern got himself some criticism. All I said was everyone should get the vaccine. It should be mandatory. This brought down a slew of publicity like I haven't even seen ever before. It's mind-blowing. We're trapped in a country with imbeciles. He continued, guess what? When we get COVID, we don't end up in hospitals. So we don't overload hospitals. So what did I say? We have no time for idiots in our country anymore. Rogan has yet to address Stern's comments. By the way, it's a couple things here. One, you know, Howard Stern's probably not too happy that Rogan's kicking ass. Okay? I mean, that's number one. Let's just face it.
Stern used to say that podcasts aren't radio.
Yeah.
They're bullshit.
You know, the other day I watched a Michael Schumacher's documentary. I don't know if you guys seen Michael Schumacher's documentary. If you haven't seen it, it's a must-watch. I'm a big Senna fan. If you haven't watched Schumacher's, I've watched Senna's documentary 100 times. Watch Schumacher's the other. It's an hour and 54 minutes. And he says some very interesting things. One of the things he said, I don't like to brag about my things because you'll call me cocky, but I also don't talk about my weaknesses because it's your job to find my weaknesses, not mine. Schumacher says that, which is powerful to say that. But then there's a part of it when Schumacher's coming up and he passes up Senna, where Senna gets a little bit uncomfortable about it. You know, where there's Schumacher takes a cut, cuts him off, and Senna loses his mind, goes to Schumacher afterwards with his hand on his shoulder. You don't do something like this. And Schumacher loses his mind saying, I'm just doing what you did to everybody. This is what you used to do.
Play to win the game.
You told people play to win the game. I'm doing that. I'm doing what you showed us to do, right? I think there's a part of it. Stern is not happy with the fact that Rogan's probably coming up and is taking his lunch. And quite frankly, Rogan's more attractive and more versatile than a Howard Stern is. I don't know what Howard Stern does for fun. I don't know if he goes shooting, hunting, UFC, all this other stuff. People probably link Rogan to more of a man's man and Howard Stern in a different
he's so much
thing.
more diverse. He has something to say on everything, whereas Howard Stern was a shock jock, and he's turned into whatever he is now.
So I used to do a couple shows with Jackie, the joke man Martlin, who was with Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And there was a dude who wanted to do this investment, and I was like, I don't know. And we were in Times Square. This is anecdotal. He'll probably say I'm lying. It's 100% true. We're in Times Square, okay? People were going by. I wanted to show them the power of social media and digital media and this and that. People were going by. I would just grab them and go, hey, can I ask you a question? Like, what's up? I'm like, do you know who Howard Stern is? And guys that were over 40 would be like, what is this, a stupid question? Of course I know who Howard Stern is. I was like, oh, my bad. Then I'd grab somebody that was like 25 or younger. I'd be like, hey, man, you know who Howard Stern is? They were like, nah, I don't know. Who's Howard Stern? Like, they would have no idea. If you went around this office and we work in media and everybody here is on the news all day, anybody under 30 years old, I would bet 1 in 10 would know who Howard Stern is. Would know what he does, can name one thing that he's famous for. Meanwhile, how many people in that office under 30 know who Joe Rogan is?
Everybody.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.